Crime 101 is proof that a movie can be really good and still miss its biggest opportunity. Crime 101 is the new crime drama starring Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, Mark Ruffalo, and Barry Keoghan. Chris Hemsworth plays this jewel thief committing crimes along the 101 freeway in LA, and Mark Ruffalo is the detective trying to catch him. Halle Berry is this insurance broker who's kind of at a personal crossroads, and then Barry Keoghan is this wild card criminal. We watch as all of these characters' stories intertwine, which creates this dramatic, high-stakes heist situation. This was much more of a crime drama than an action movie. I think I went in with the impression that we would get more action, but I ended up really enjoying the slow burn tension between these characters. Something that is totally not fair to this movie is that I just watched Heat of 1995, Heat, for the very first time right before watching this movie. And while this movie is good, it's just not as good as Heat. Chris Hemsworth is great in this. He's this super cool jewel thief, but he's kind of awkward personally, and not in an awkward way that's overtly comical for the movie making a joke, but in a way that we kind of sympathize with him. Now, there definitely were some moments where him being so awkward was funny, but that definitely wasn't the intention behind adding this aspect to that character. One of the things that makes his character so off-putting is his inability to share any details about his life with the people in his life. You see this especially with his love interest, who's played by Monica Barbaro. She is unable to connect with him in really a whole lot of ways. It reminded me a lot of the superhero's secret identity. Think Spider-Man in the Sam Raimi movies. The romantic element of this movie actually worked for me. It didn't feel like they forced it into the movie. It felt like it was there to help us understand Chris Hemsworth's character. And I found myself completely rooting for these two characters to get together. How many times have we seen Mark Ruffalo play a detective? I feel like he's either a detective or the Hulk. I mean, Zodiac, Now You See Me. I'm trying to think of any more. If you think of any more, let me know in the comments below. He's great though in this movie. He plays into his strengths of playing this kind of down on his luck detective. He's going through this divorce, and you really see how that affects his character throughout the movie. Halle Berry is great as well. She's an insurance broker who's been passed up for promotions at work, and it's just not working out for her, so we can definitely sympathize with her character. Barry Keoghan is great as this unhinged criminal. To me, he never really went full bad. He was always kind of unhinged, but never totally crazy. And I think that kind of dampened the intensity a little bit for me. I also feel like we didn't know much about his backstory or really get to learn a whole lot about his character. This movie really makes every character, well, other than maybe Barry Keoghan and Nick Nolte's character, into sympathetic characters. You're really rooting for them to get everything that they want and to find this personal fulfillment that it seems like all of them are searching for. When compared to Heat, I would say the biggest difference is the way we sympathize with these characters. Both movies give us different perspectives of different people and kind of understanding where they're coming from, but the difference is in Heat, Robert De Niro is the villain of that story. And while I sympathize with him, it doesn't change his standing as the villain in this story. Chris Hemsworth didn't totally feel like the villain to this story. And even the villains that were in this story didn't feel like they were given enough backstory for me to sympathize and understand where they were coming from. One of the things I loved about this movie was the way all the characters' stories were interconnected. All of the characters' circumstances and motivations felt like they made sense. No one felt like they were doing things just to further the plot. And this movie has great action too. Don't hear me say that there's not good action in this movie, because there definitely is. I appreciate that this movie doesn't necessarily tell you what's going to happen, but it gives you visual clues as to what logically could happen next. And it's in these logical assumptions that we, the audience, makes that makes us feel this tension and intensity. So that is a perfect setup to completely surprise your audience. But do they take advantage of that? No. That's why the biggest thing this movie was missing to me was one final twist at the end. There's lots of plot threads hanging in the air by the end of this movie, and they really could have done something else with it. I don't know why they didn't. Maybe it was the runtime, maybe the story was feeling a little too convoluted. But don't get me wrong, this is a good movie. I just think it could have been great if they'd had that one little push at the end to make the audience's jaw drop. So before I tell you if you should add this to your watch list, go ahead and hit subscribe so that way you can see more reviews like this in the future. Should you add Crime 101 to your watch list? Yes, I think you should. This movie is a fun, tension-filled, slow burn crime drama that has a lot of good action in it too, and it was a really cool movie theater experience. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like they're not making movies like this much anymore. To get to see this in the theater was a whole lot of fun. Overall, I really enjoyed watching this movie. I will probably watch it again some years down the road. I would give Crime 101 3.5 out of 5 stars. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.